Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about how I got in shape physically for Air Force basic military training. So before I left for the Air Force, I was totally out of shape. I rarely exercised. I was not the type of person who played sports in high school. So I'm going to start from the very beginning, July 2018, when I decided I'm finally going to enlist in the Air Force after wanting to for 10 years. I knew I had to get in shape. I knew I had to make a big lifestyle change. I knew that I needed to make my health and fitness a priority to be in the military, obviously. So at this time, I only weighed about 116 pounds and I'm 5'3", so the minimum weight for the Air Force at that height is 112 pounds. So I was only 4 pounds above the minimum, and I knew that I needed to start eating healthier, start working out, start building muscle and things like that. My recruiter at the time did let me know that if I went under that minimum weight requirement of 112 pounds, then I may not be able to ship out. So that freaked me out a little bit. I was working very hard to get through this process, so I did start drinking whey protein shakes daily, and I also combined this with a workout routine to build muscle. So July 2018, the first time that I attempted a 1.5 miles was on the treadmill, and I don't remember the last time I had ran or even exercised before this moment, and I ended up with about 18.5 to like 1850 for my first 1.5 miles that I tried to do. I could not run it straight through, obviously. It was a lot of walking, it was a lot of jogging, and it was awful. So yes, my beginning run time was about 18 to 19 minutes, which clearly does not meet the standards of the Air Force. If you are a female under 30, then your run time needs to be under a 16:22. Also, as a female under 30, you need to do 38 sit-ups in a minute and 18 push-ups in a minute for the minimum. But also within those 3 categories, it's a point system, and doing the minimum in those 3 categories doesn't give you the full amount of points that you need to pass. So basically I knew that I had a lot of work to do on my run time, my sit-ups, and my push-ups. The very first time that I timed myself to see how many sit-ups I could do in a minute and how many push-ups I can do in a minute, I did 12 sit-ups in a minute and 10 push-ups in a minute. So I had a very long way to go before shipping out in December. So I did swear in August, and as I said, my ship date was in December. So I had about 4 months to completely change my current level of physical fitness. So as I researched what PT would be like at BMT, I did find out that there would be a 6-day PT schedule where we have some run days and some strength days. So that's the way that I started working out almost immediately. I did 3 run days a week and 3 strength days a week. But even on my strength days where I went to the gym, I started incorporating 10 to 15 pound weights, especially with arm exercises and core exercises, so I could increase my sit-ups and push-ups in a minute. Even on those strength days, I still got on a treadmill. I focused on my 1 mile run time. So I did like the fastest mile that I could. And then on run days, I specifically only ran about 2 to 3 miles. So I knew that at BMT we're expected to basically jog or run for 26 minutes straight. So that's what I started doing. And obviously at first I couldn't run for 26 minutes straight. I could barely run a 1.5 miles, but every day I would get a little bit faster, or I would run a little bit longer, I would walk a little bit less. It's a process that you have to be fully committed to, like mentally, physically, emotionally. You have to want this for yourself. You have to stay motivated. You have to keep at it every day. And every day you have to set small, new little goals for yourself. Like today I ran 2.8 in 26 minutes, and today I'm gonna shoot for 3 miles. And towards the end, I wasn't walking at all. I felt like I could jog forever. You just have to find what your current pace is, what feels comfortable that you can basically sustain for a long amount of time, and then every day just push it a little bit further. So the app that I loved using is called Nike Run Club. I've been using it for years. So here is a little screenshot of my run times from about a month before I shipped out. So it does track your distance and your pace, and it keeps track of your runs so that you can look back, see your progress. It's a free app. I highly recommend downloading it if you're going to be going on runs outside. So on those strength days at the gym, I did use a treadmill for my run time, just the quick 1 mile. And then on my run days, I definitely ran outside. You want to make sure that if weather permits and, you know, all those other variables that go into running outside, you definitely want to make sure that you are practicing outside. It's totally different than running on a treadmill. And obviously at BMT, you're going to be running on a track and it's going to be outside. So practice outside if you can. So before shipping out, that 1.5 mile run time for me was about 18 to 19 minutes at the very beginning. And then right before I shipped out, it was more like 15 minutes. So I did shave a few minutes off in a few months. So I started from not being anywhere near the bare minimum requirements physically to passing my first PT test in BMT. You do take 3 PT tests. As you go through BMT, as you take those 3 PT tests, the standards do increase. So you don't have to meet those minimums till the very last test. So in my mind, I was like, I can already beat the minimums for the very last test, so I should be fine for the other tests as well, because those standards are even lower and easier. So the last PT test that you take in week 6 for BMT is your first official Air Force PT test. So this is one that actually goes on your record, and I got an 86. You do want to shoot for at least a 90, because then it says that you scored as excellent and you don't have to take your PT test again for a whole year. If you get below a 90, then you're going to have to take it every 6 months. So yes, an 86 is not the best score, and obviously I wanted to shoot even higher for my next one, but the fact that I went from running a 19-minute mile and a half to getting an 86 on my first PT test, that was an accomplishment enough for me. So just be proud of yourself for any progress you're making. Try not to compare yourself to other people who are getting 100 on their PT test because they've been into fitness their entire lives or they've always played sports. I have stayed committed to working on my physical fitness since I've been in the Air Force, which is about 1.5 years now, and I just took my last PT test in November and I got my first 90. So please don't give up. Make your physical fitness a priority if you're wanting to enlist. The gyms are closed. It's a crazy time. I have been using the Nike Training Club app to do at-home workouts. I always feel like I got a good workout in after I use that app. This one is also free. I recommend downloading it. If you guys do want to learn more about my Air Force journey so far, including my fitness journey, then feel free to follow me on Instagram at Brittany L. Willis. I do have highlights saved on my page, specifically like one for fitness, one for my Air Force journey. And that fitness highlight has been on my Instagram from the very beginning. So I have like my run times on there, some specific arm exercises that I would do at the gym before shipping out. After those few months in the gym and those 2 months at BMT, I did end up gaining about 10 pounds. So I was about 116 before shipping out, and then I was about 126 when they weighed me before leaving BMT. Obviously now I feel a lot healthier and stronger than I have ever been, and I'm really excited to continue my fitness journey, and hopefully this answer some of your guys' questions about how I got in shape for BMT. I hope this inspires you a little bit to push yourself and try to get in shape before you get to BMT, because there were those people who thought, hey, I'm gonna go to BMT so that BMT can get me into shape. And the people with that mindset did get washed back. They did not graduate with our flight. They did get put into a Get Fit program, and it's not the end of the world, and they did still graduate, but it's gonna take a little bit longer, and I don't know why you would want to be in BMT longer than you have to be. So as always, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments or message me on Instagram at Brittany L. Willis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!